Let's check in on this, awkward reunion here. Yeah, hi. Leaving Celeste and me alone with Miss Tamora. About what happened? Look, I'm not angry, Cuthbert. Oh? Really? It was an extremely unforeseen situation, and Steelwind clearly put you on the spot. You felt pressure to do something, and you made a rash decision. I'm sure the court will understand if you withdraw. What? Cuthbert, you're not a prosecutor. You know that, right? Didn't you become an attorney to defend persecuted mages? But Beatrice is guilty. I saw it. I'm not going to argue about this again. You are going to withdraw. This is not up for discussion. I'd always regarded and respected Miss Tamora. She's never steered me wrong before. But she was right. She knows much more about what's going on than I did, and she was still my mentor. I wanted to believe that. I really did. Tyrion learns the pain of the broken pedestal. Tyrion reaches the age of maturity where you realize that the adults that you looked up to and saw as infallible all your life are just ordinary and flawed and full of mistakes and bad character traits that you never really paid as much credence to before you learned a bit more about the ways of the world. Deep down, I knew that this was wrong. Mr. Moore may believe in Beatrice's innocence, but I couldn't just abandon this case and let her escape justice. My hands were trembling. Why was I so scared right now? I felt Celeste gently hold my shaking hand from behind me. It was warm and comforting. It's that same sensation that I'd felt back then. I took a deep breath. I'm not going to do that, Miss Tamora. What? I'm not going to withdraw? Believe in Beatrice's innocence, and if you truly believe you're on the right side, then prove it by beating me. Fine. Do whatever you want, but you're only going to make everything more difficult for everyone. Huh. Tyrion? As soon as Mr. Moore stepped out of the room, my body dropped to the floor. Whatever bravery I felt before got replaced with an extreme amount of fatigue. Good Lord. That's the first time I've ever spoken to her like that. But you still did it. You stood your ground. Figuratively, I mean, right now you're just kind of sitting on the floor. Big puddle on the floor. Yeah. I need to take a moment. Can we go back to the ballroom? I didn't want to interrupt whatever that was. Just follow us to the ballroom, Orem. I'll return to the ballroom. You okay? Yeah. I just needed a moment. Just imagining Celeste. You okay? Or, actually, my back's been a little hurting. Not you. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I still had a job to do. The will reading bought us a few more hours to investigate the murder. We should take advantage of the new information we just learned. So, where should we start first? Right. I was the prosecutor now. That technically made me his boss for the time being. This is weird, right? Yep. Awkward aside, I've never really led a task force before. What would Steelwind normally do in this situation? Well, she'd normally have us investigate areas of interest. Right. The context of the investigation tends to change after each round of court proceedings. What we're lacking right now is physical evidence. Do the Inquisition search the galley and Beatrice's room. Maybe you can find evidence of how the sport of spell eating was stolen. What do you say, boss? That covers the Inquisition, but what are we going to do? Duke's inheritance plays a large role in this case. If it's not valid, we should take a look at that modified will that he was drafting. Might give us some insight about what he was really planning to do with his inheritance. I just can't wrap my head around it. I know he wasn't the best dad. I can't believe she actually killed him. She killed him, yeah. And for what? Wealth and power? That's just a universal reference you can drop at any situation now. Thank you, Brennan. Winning we will again. Killed him, yeah. And Zachary up. He's there too. They're all good. Wealth and power? That's just how the aristocracy works? Well, we don't... We don't know that in this case. It could just be as simple as a family, as the scorned older sister coming back to just flat out take revenge on the abusive dad. So we really don't know. Even the weakest noble has a large amount of political power. Sometimes I feel lucky that I grew up in Cornhaven. Where should we go next? William retreated into his study to draft a new will. Even if it's not valid, we should try to look for it there. It might give us some insight into the headspace he was in that night. Baking houses are loaded, aren't they? Yeah. Come on, where is it? As we entered William Frega's study, we spotted a small figure rifling through the drawers of his desk. Why isn't it here? Where else would he put it? Miriam? What? She banged her head before she quickly stood, tried to suddenly slide the drawers closed, but I'd seen it clearly. This is a crime scene. What are you doing here, Miriam? As if that's any of your business. Considering that I'm the prosecutor, it's very much my business. I glanced at the nightstand there, stationed outside the room. They should have stopped her from entering, but they were probably intimidated by her status. However, this could be a blessing in disguise. She was clearly looking for something in this room, and I had a feeling that I knew what it was. I should have known you were an attorney when you showed it to me back at the academy. Yeah, you almost blew our cover, Tyrion. It's a habit. Think you'd be so enamored with such a mundane piece of artificery. What were you looking for? What could be so important that you disturb an active crime scene? It's none of your concern. I'm really trying to find something that belongs to me. Really? Because I have a feeling that we may be looking for the same thing. You're looking for the will that your father was drafting, aren't you? That's... Are you trying to destroy it before you can get to it? No, of course not. I just needed to see it for myself. Oh. Why are you so determined to see the drafted will, Miriam? I just wanted to see what my father's final wishes were. I don't think he would have liked the outcome. Like, considering it was very clearly being drafted in anger? Your father already had a will filed previously. Wouldn't that be enough? You also suspect something, don't you? Of course not. Beatrice would never do something like this. Miss Frega, I never even mentioned Beatrice. We're not on the best terms, but please understand that we're just trying to get the truth. I don't think your sister did this, but she may have been involved. She may have worked with someone else to orchestrate her father's death. In a weird way, she's haughty, and she's terrible, but in the context of her family and her home, I kind of understand why she's like this, and I kind of feel bad for her. Unlike Lefe, she didn't immediately deny it. Where is it? Where's the will, Miriam? I need to see it. No. I haven't been able to find it. Recall that she was frantically searching William's desk earlier. She was probably telling the truth. It should have been here, but I can't find it. He locked the door when he began drafting it. In addition to that, the Inquisition closed the area off after the body was discovered. That means that someone took it during the lockdown. It was probably stolen by whoever murdered him, right? Yeah, that would make the most sense. Which means that whoever did this wanted to nullify whatever was written on it. So it was looking more and more like the motive behind this was William's inheritance. Anyways, it looks like we won't be able to find the will. The fact that it was taken must imply something. For now we should follow our other leads. Still don't know who committed this murder and how. Don't we already know the how? The murderer stole the sword of spell eating and used it to break into the study. It's true, but think about how they would have needed to move around the manor. The murder took place on the first floor within William Frega's study. The gallery was on the second floor. You would have needed to go upstairs, steal the sword from the gallery, and then use it to nullify the lock on the study. Only that, they would have needed to go back upstairs and plant the sword in Beatrice's room. How about that? If someone conspired with Beatrice to do this, why would they plant the sword in her room? That's a good point. Insurance? Maybe they had a falling out. Her partner might have tried to betray her by pinning the blame on her. If that was true, why wouldn't she just sell them out and make a deal with Steelwind? It would be because of the Slayer rule. Slayer rule. Remember the guy at the will reading also mentioning that. What does that mean? It's the law passed by the Crown centuries ago. If someone is involved in another person's death, even accidentally, they will not be able to inherit the deceased's property. So even if Beatrice wasn't directly responsible, she'd lose her cut of the inheritance if she took a plea deal. More importantly, it didn't sound like Miriam believed in Beatrice's innocence either. If that was true, what else could she tell us? Miriam, it almost sounds like you suspect Beatrice as well. What? Am I incorrect? Threaten you? Don't know what to think anymore. Oh, was that for her testimony? Wait, she was threatened? Miriam, did Beatrice threaten you in some way? What? Of course not! Her testimony yesterday was quite convenient for the defense. It almost got the whole case thrown out. And Leifei didn't seem to understand what was going on either. With the way she gave her testimony yesterday, it was almost like she was covering for you. Does he seriously not know it was Ruby? Please, promise me that you won't tell anyone about this. I won't tell anyone. What happened? An hour after the murder, I was approached by Ruby Tamura. Gave me a list of statements to give in my testimony. Statements weren't true, but she assured me that my status would protect me from any scrutiny. What? She had information that I had tried to keep secret, and she threatened to make it public unless I cooperated with her. No! No, she would never do that. I'm telling the truth. No, please, you can't tell Tamura that I told you. She'll ruin me. The eyes showed that her fear was genuine. She wasn't lying. I've seen how she defends her clients. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. She'll do whatever it takes to win. Oh, it doesn't matter what you say. I know you're just like her. Those rumors, were they really true this whole time? No, absolutely not. Hey, Tyrion, are you okay? Now wasn't the time to doubt myself. There's too much at stake right now. It wasn't done yet. You should check on Commander White. He might have found something. Okay. Just don't push yourself, okay? Yeah. Have plenty of time to think about this later.
Prepario Arcanum!
Window that leads into this room? Supposedly it's magically reinforced. Large marking table at the end of the room. Would have entered through here? Chimney's probably narrow too. Oh yeah, this guy. Oh, this is a test on Rock Resignar. Resingar. Economic scholar and aristocratic accountant. Work the cook. Yeah. Alright. I don't think we're gonna get anything new from this. Scrooge around the manor. I peeked into the sitting room to see if Von Sanctus was still there. I didn't see him there, but I spotted the Grand General. Sara. Enemy? You must be daft if you think I wouldn't notice your presence, Luminite. What? Did he notice us? I was barely inside the room. Before I had a chance to respond, Lucio grabbed the handle of his great axe and charged toward us. He swung his weapon, using his hefty weight to propel them forward and close the distance between us. Wait, I brought up my arms to block his blow, but in hindsight, this probably wouldn't have done much against a weapon that large. But it just... Oh! My eyes. Celeste was now standing between the Grand General and me. I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like she'd knocked him several feet back. Oh, it's you two. That's all you have to say? You could have killed him. You shouldn't have stuck up on me like that. I almost cleaved him in two. Tyrion didn't do anything wrong. Who the hell do you think you are? What happened? Why is this aura so much stronger? Oh! Celeste, it's fine. I'm not hurt. She looked more than a little irate right now, but she begrudgingly put away her sword. The Grand General is one of the people with a motive to murder William Frega. Not to mention that he was clearly no stranger to violence. He might know something. At the very least, he might have some knowledge about William and his affairs. Yeah, that is this. What do you think about this, Lord Steerwin? Completely inane. What else do you expect me to say? Attorney's runestone. Proves that I'm a certified attorney. I don't understand what you want from me. Lift looks good kill. Boy, one might misinterpret that look of yours as murderous intent. Aw, guess you do have some battle instincts after all. I honestly wasn't sure, as you so obviously have a silver spoon stuck up your... Celeste! Just lack of respect and discipline. If you were one of my soldiers, I'd have you hung. If I were one of your soldiers, I'd hang myself. Damn! Anyways, Grand General, you were here at the Lord's Ball when the murder occurred. I was. Do you mind if I ask you some questions about what you saw that night? If that's okay with you. You don't need to be so scared of the guy, Tyrion. It was easy for her to say. I suppose I must oblige, considering that my daughter has so unceremoniously thrust her responsibilities onto you. Yeah, how is she? I'm sorry about what happened to your daughter. I'm sure that you're very worried. It's her own fault for exerting herself despite her injuries. There's a clear line between bravery and foolishness. How could you say that? Your daughter did everything she could to see justice done. By prosecuting the heiress of House Frega, she had very little evidence to substantiate a conviction. If she wanted to strike a blow to a rival house, she should have made sure her first attack would be her last. But now, if Beatrice Frega is found innocent, any hopes of an alliance between House Frega and House Steerwin will be completely annihilated. Nightmare, alright. I'm mulling over a thought in my head. That's just... I don't quite know how to process it yet. I'll circle back to it. Where were you throughout the night, Grand General? I so loathe gatherings like that, and I couldn't do with all the battering about the recent news. I was in this room, but then I received word that the Duke's lost heiress made an unexpected appearance. She was supposedly speaking with the Crown Prince, so I made my way to the ballroom. Did you speak with them at any point? No. I kept my distance and stayed near the King's Guard. Was it because you were wary of Beatrice Frega? Anyone who knew Beatrice Frega would be wary of her, and her allegiance with Ruby Demore is only more convincing. The Crown Prince has always been a bleeding heart, and the Fregas are taught to sharpen their tongues from birth. I needed to make sure that she wouldn't try to interfere with his engagement to my daughter. You were worried that she was going to try to take Esther back? I was, but it was clear that wasn't her intention. But you did overhear their conversation? What were they talking about? Their conversation was completely inane. It was all just small talk. Lady Frega spent most of her time entertaining Prince Alaric. Huh. Right, the younger prince was there too. That Beatrice had some role in the murder, even if she wasn't directly responsible. Did she have some goal when speaking to the two princes? Was she trying to establish an alibi? You went to the ballroom when you heard that Beatrice had returned. Was this before or after the lockdown? It was before the lockdown. It sounded about right. That meant that she was present before the theft was reported. Did you see her leave at any point? No. She spoke with the two princes for quite a while. She didn't leave their side until she was arrested for the Duke's murder. Though she was accounted for the entire night. Alibi in air quotes. Her thoughts said that she was an accomplice in William's death. How did she participate if she was with the princess the whole time? Thank you for answering our questions, Grand General. I'm merely repaying my daughter's debt to you. He'd been surprisingly cooperative, but that didn't lift any suspicion off of him just yet. I need to find more evidence if I wanted to know for sure. Anyways, we should probably move somewhere else. Let's go, Celeste. Coy. What? Your spellcasting is undisciplined, but your battle stance and reflexes are commendable. You have my respect as a warrior. As if that means anything coming from you. Undisciplined and defiant brat. That is something. I suppose it's a very valid reaction to Tyrion just discovering a Luminite artifact and resonating with it. And becoming supremely more powerful. It appears. That's a... I suppose if Lucio has fought in the old history of Wyvern Guard and the past conflict involving Luminites, just the stronger aura that Tyrion is resonating could have very much triggered that reaction, especially he is like dozing, but interesting. Get in that corner. Don't let it get away. Get away from him! In Beatrice's room, we saw the Inquisition quartering something near the bed. Some sort of animal. A wolf, to be exact. Wait, is that? I remember spotting that same wolf on the night of the Lord's Ball. I've been in the house since the murder? Intruders. Must protect Queen. Surrounded. Must protect territory from enemies. I've seen the Inquisition as intruders in his territory. That mean he saw this room as his home? Beatrice's. I slowly started to walk toward him. Wait, Tyrion? Stay back, kid. There's no telling what it'll do. You want them to continue to approach them. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. Huh? This human? He can speak the language of dog? It's the same thing that happened with Violetta. He can communicate with any animal. Why are you talking to it? Ah! Ah! The good boy. It's a good opportunity before me. I had access to a witness that no one else could talk to, and one that couldn't lie to me. I'm going to present my attorney's runestone to it. Look, Tracker, it's my attorney's runestone. Rocked. Is that the Doge pose? It's with artificery. I used to take pictures of evidence at the crime scene. That feels like the Doge expression. Rock. My queen's a good friend. Saved Tracker when Tracker was pup. That he ended up becoming her pet? Yeah. I always hear about other animals becoming humans, but Tracker didn't understand until he met Queen. Now I give Queen protection. Queen give me honey bacon. Oh, he's a good boy. What do you think of marry him? Tracker don't. Got distracted by a squirrel outside. Alright. Baba? Tracker don't like Blue Man. Blue Man? You meet William Frega? Blue Man always yells at Queen, makes her cry. You suppose you didn't know Beatrice. Look at this kid. Tracker like you, friend. You smell nice. Thank you? What'd he say? Told me that I smell nice. Oh yeah, I gotta see what he means. What? What? Oh, nothing about Celeste? I'm sorry, I'm enjoying this. Have you met? No? Okay. Monkey. Tracker's bed. This Tracker's bed. It's like resting on a cloud. Oh! Covered in a layer of dust. Doesn't look like it's been... Oh! Tracker stays in Beatrice's room. Oh, life it. Should be dusty.
Repario Arcanum!
Tracker, is that your name? How did you? Yes, Tracker is Tracker. That's the name Queen give me. Oh! Sorry, screenshotting. The good boy. The good boy. Tracker gestured toward Leife when he mentioned his queen. He called you his queen. Do you know him, Leife? Yes, but how? How are you talking to it? Ah, that's, He was so distracted by Tracker that I didn't realize how strange this scene must look to everyone else. I'm a dog whisperer. You never mentioned that before. You honestly expect us to believe something like that? A Tracker says he can understand him. He told me himself. Wait, how do you know that? So, Leife, how are you able to communicate with Tracker? Tracker is my familiar. Familiar? You have the same magical bond Harold has with his monkey. Familiar bond allowed the caster to telepathically speak with their familiar. Must be how she could understand him. You never mentioned him during questioning. It wasn't relevant to the investigation. And I've been keeping him a secret from my family. Well, I suppose that makes sense. Doubt William Frega would have allowed you to keep an animal in his home. Well, I don't appreciate you keeping this info from us. I'm just glad no one got hurt because of it. So after this dog, we haven't really found anything new. I couldn't find any more physical evidence of the theft. Looks like we run into another dead end. Unless... Tracker, I saw you on the night of the murder. But what? Tracker! Roo-roo? He's supposed to stay in this room. Wait, is that why you won't allow the servants to enter it? You didn't want to keep him in Beatrice's room. He was very insistent that he stay here. Tracker liked the ambience. Right. Wait, if you live in this room, did you see who brought the sort of smell eating here? I already asked about that, but he didn't see anyone. Must have been taking a nap. Either that or he was roaming outside even though I told him to stay here. Tracker see a lot of other things, though. Tracker see many new people that night. Right, he was roaming the manor during the Lord's Ball. But just seen a lot of new people. Wait. He was walking around. Did he see something that the other witnesses didn't? Oh my god. Can you tell us what you saw on the night of the murder, Tracker? Tracker see rat people. This might have been more difficult than I expected. I need you to be more specific. And you go in order? Tell me about everyone you saw that night. Okay. Tracker was taking a nap at room, when Tracker woke up from loud sounds outside. Tracker hears small things running in the walls. Tracker called Queen, but she didn't answer. Tracker decided to check sound alone. Tracker follows sound outside. That's when Tracker smelled the bad smell. Bad smell? That's when Tracker smelled flying rat. You smelled a flying rat? You mean like a pigeon? Tracker could smell where Rat was, so Tracker borked at him and bite. He tastes bad. Tracker must have scared Rat, so he fell onto the floor and dropped his stick. Rat had a stick? You could see them now. The Tracker did one final bork to scare them off. Rats were scared and went back into the walls. Went into the walls? That's when Tracker picked up the stick the Rat dropped. Queen finally answered Tracker. She told him to go back to his room and hide. Message. Tracker brings stick back to room for inspection. Remember what time this happened? What is time? Oh my god. What do you say, Tyrion? Did you see anything? Definitely saw something. Okay, let's try to take a moment to work through this. Tracker is an animal. Despite being able to speak with him, his use of words is very primitive. You should carefully examine each of his statements. First thing he heard was small things running in the walls. Recall that someone else observed something similar that night. There was a complaint about rats running through the air vents. They sent me to take care of it. I heard one of them running in the vents upstairs, and I followed it here. Figured I had nowhere else to go, so I opened it up and put the trap down. Those are the rats that Jan mentioned. They weren't actually running in the walls. They're running in the vents. Next thing I did was call the queen, but she didn't answer. It's Frega to life, but she wasn't with him at the time. I still called out to her telepathically. My bond was nullified by the anti-magic field. Life I didn't respond because she never got Tracker's message. The telepathic capabilities granted by familiar bond were disabled by the anti-magic field. Meant that this encounter happened during the lockdown. I covered his first two statements, but I wasn't really sure what to make of the flying rat he saw. Tracker, why did you refer to the rat as flying? Because rats don't usually jump and fly. Yeah, I got that. Is it possible that what you saw wasn't really a rat? What does this mean? Rats are rats. They are small things that run and hide. So rat's a general term for him. He uses it to refer to small animals that are acting suspiciously. Notice with everything I knew, his last statement didn't make any sense. So the queen finally answered him, and that happened after he picked up the stick. That shouldn't have been possible due to the anti-magic field. The stick that Tracker obtained was actually the sword of spell eating. Tracker, about that stick you found. Where'd you put it after you came back to this room? Tracker hides the stick in a safe place, under bed. And this stick, did it look like the sword that my friend is carrying? What? Hey, your friend stole my other stick. Wait, your other stick? Yeah. Tracker found it while he was hiding from the middlemen. Middlemen? Is he referring to the King's Guard? Must have left the bedroom when they were searching for the sword of spell eating. Wait, are you the one who stole Celeste's sword? Tracker! Did Tracker do it bad? It's as I suspected. Tracker was the one who brought the sword of spell eating here. What? He knew not how or why, but the sword of spell eating was lying in a hallway somewhere. Tracker found it and brought it back to Beatrice's room. His room. That can't be. The person who framed Beatrice for the theft was... Weren't for Tracker, the Inquisition would never have honed in on Beatrice at all. Why would the sword of spell eating be lying in a random hallway? Lifey, do you mind if I borrow Tracker for a little bit? Okay, Queen, he smelled good. Tracker, trust him. Thanks, I guess. Okay, but only if I can come with you. I knew Miriam's position, but how did Lifey feel about me prosecuting her sister? Nod to Lifey. I also sent a subtle glance to Celeste to keep an eye on her. She silently nodded, and we followed, and slowly followed behind her. Alright, Tracker. It takes us to the hallway where you found these rats. Sure thing, King. King? It sounded like I'd received a promotion. That's a vent. I allowed Tracker to lead me to the location where he found the sword of spell eating. Alright. Allowed Tracker to lead me to the location where he found the sword of spell eating. Surprisingly, he was fairly close to Beatrice's room. Apparently didn't travel very far before he met those rats he mentioned. As we continued toward our destination, Tracker suddenly became extremely tense. Tracker, what's wrong? Enemy. Oh! He was growling toward the end of the hallway. Aston was there. So was Eris. How'd she even get access to Frega Manor? Oh. Before he even had a chance to react, Tracker jumped between Eris and me. He began barking at her angrily. Oh dear. Tracker, stop that! Lifey tried to calm Tracker down, but he was undeterred. He continued to bark at Eris, and it looked like he was taking all of Lifey's strength to hold him back. Aster, my apologies, Mr. Cuthbert. I am deathly afraid of dogs. I understand why you're... I have to go. Quick gave a word, and Aster quickly excused himself and ran down the hallway. I'm terribly sorry. He's not usually like this. It's to be expected. I'm not sure why, but animals have always been able to see. Have always disliked me. What was Eris doing here? And we'll see your true nature. She said that her father was friends with Beatrice, but was she involved in this case somehow? This didn't matter. Didn't come here to talk to anyone. Need to examine this hallway and search for clues.
Repario Arcanum.
There's an air vent over here. It looks like it goes from the ceiling to the ground floor. Is that where the rat escaped to, Tracker? That's where the jumping rat went. I understand it was a flying rat. Tracker see that too. Probably better just move on. Anyways, where'd this rat come from? Rat come out the other wall. You mean the vent on the opposite side? Yes. Tracker saw a flying rat escape that way. What was this rat doing here in the first place? These crystals supposedly generated an anti-magic field during the lockdown. However, the sword of spell eating would have made its wielder immune to the effects. What? What do you see? I'm seeing small traces of illusion magic inside them. They are the shape of droplets, and some of them are shaped like footprints. Footprints? What kind of footprints? They look like they came from some kind of animal. It's hard to tell what kind, though. I also see some small handprints, too. What? The traces also go deep inside these vents. The same for the vents on the other side, too. Why would there be traces of illusion magic inside the vents? What spell could have possibly left those traces? As I told you many months ago, illusion spells tend to do one of two things. They either create freestanding illusions or they can disguise an existing creature. Spells only leave traces on the objects they are cast on. A freestanding illusion wouldn't have left traces like this. Disguised creature must have been inside these vents at some point. These small red droplets have to be blood. Most likely from a creature affected by an illusion. These vents are tiny, no one would be able to fit inside them. Tracker could see them now, so Tracker did one final bork to scare them off. Rats were scared and went back into the walls. But a rat would be able to fit into these vents. Well, yeah, I guess that'd be true. That would mean a rat had an illusion spell active on it at the time. It's not only that. So the queen finally answered him, and this happened after he picked up a stick. That contradicted something else we knew was active at the time.
Maybe.
That shouldn't have been possible because of the anti-magic field. I saw this rat during the lockdown. Oh, so the rat was illusioned while the anti-magic field was happening. It would have been inside the anti-magic field created by the lockdown. During the lockdown. Only one way the rat could have an illusion spell active on it. Wait, you can't mean...
What if...
Rat was stealing.
Maybe.
Holding. That rat was holding the sword to spell eating. Huh. What? That can't be right. Rat wouldn't have the strength or hands to carry a sword. Tracker's vocabulary is primitive and limited. He uses the word rat to describe small creatures that hide and act suspiciously. Even if it wasn't an actual rat, it still could have been a human, right? You're right. It would have been a small animal. Couldn't have been human. A small animal with the strength and dexterity to traverse a small air vent while holding a sword. Ah. Sorry, but I really have to ask, is that a monkey riding on your back? Yeah, this is my familiar, Eugene. Harold Haraldson? No, are you serious? You know that Harold had a motive to kill William Frega. He was planning to defund the Heralds in Hall of History. They had an argument in the night, and that's when William Frega decided that he was going to defund the Heralds' museums. Must have struck a deal with Beatrice, and with Beatrice's portion of House Frega, she could have easily kept his museums funded. Could have faked the robbery and sent his myth familiars to murder William. Can't believe this. Who are you? What do you want? There's also physical struggle. There's something else that Tracker said. I could smell where Rat was, so Tracker borked at him. I was scared Rat because he fell on the floor and dropped a stick. You said you had to smell to see where the rat was. When he dropped his stick, you were finally able to see him. Does this mean you couldn't visually see him before he fell down? Yep. Tracker couldn't see the rat with his eyes, so Tracker used his nose to see it. Monkey was invisible. No one would have noticed a small invisible animal. In addition to that, he could move throughout the air vents. It would have been nearly undetectable that night. Beatrice is a master of illusion magic. It's possible that she cast invisibility on Eugene. There's the position of this air vent. Currently in the hallway just north of Beatrice's room. This air vent connects to the ground floor. You align the two maps together, this vent must lead to the storage room. Right. Air vent that curved upwards. This must be where it leads. According to Jan, that air vent leads directly to William's study. It would be the perfect route to enter William's study and leave undetected. William needs to nullify the lock to enter that room. Why would he need to use the sword of spell eating after all? It's a familial bond that can telepathically communicate with each other. Harold probably needed Eugene to hold the sword out so he could tell him exactly where to go. Sword's magic effects of anyone magically controlled with the wielder. Familial bond connects him magically. Makes sense now. Harold could have easily faked the robbery to take suspicion off of him. It's even possible that he was lying about having the display glass was shattered. Known Lord Harold said for many years. I just can't believe he'd be involved in this. She may have known Harold for a long time, but she's never read his thoughts. His thoughts could be very hostile and rude, depending on despite his kind expression. He was very good at hiding what he was saying. And Beatrice, there's no way she'd participate in a plan like this. Look, Life, I know you don't want to suspect your sister, but you just would never trust anyone enough to work together like this. She's completely blind. She wouldn't have much of a choice. She's not the type of person to So what you're saying is that you're doubting it too. She's not the type of person to trust her accomplice to stay quiet. She wouldn't leave a loose end open like that. She couldn't have been working alone in her condition. I couldn't think of any other way that she'd be involved in this. Anyways, we're finished here, aren't we? Yes. Thank you for lending Tracker to us, Leffy. I only want to help you find out what really happened. I know my sister is innocent. God, I am talking terribly today. I know my sister is innocent. I hope once you find the truth, you see that. Guess we'll have to see. Now, if you'll excuse me. That's it, right? You finally know who really committed the murder. If you get Harold to confess on the stand, you might reveal Beatrice's involvement as well. If you did that, I might be able to convince her and Mr. Moore to take a plea deal. Although knowing Mr. Moore, that would be easier said than done. Anyways, this is definitely the lead that we've been looking for. Is it really enough? We still don't have any physical evidence. That'll have to do for now. We're running out of time. We just have to call Harold to the stand to testify about what he did that night. If I can push him far enough, I might be able to catch him lying. I doubt it would be that easy. He clearly had a good poker face. Just how much would he be able to hide his true thoughts? I already gave my statement to the Inquisition. Is my testimony really necessary? Sorry, old-timer. My orders come straight from the prosecutor. I'm going to need you on the stand today. I see. I'll do what I can to help. Yeah, it's the monkey. Was the monkey doing the glasses thing? The monkey was doing the glasses thing. Oh my god. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad we can talk like this again. I'd forgotten how much I missed speaking with you. Yes. I only hope our next conversation isn't within a cell. Beatrice, on that night, what were you talking to Father about? I'm sorry, Lifey, but I can't tell you that. Beatrice, I just want you to know that I believe in your innocence. How are you so sure? Because you're my sister, I know you. Oh... Lifey, do you know the things that I've done over the past 5 years? No. I can only imagine how difficult it was to survive. Survival would never be enough. I've had too much stolen from me. Ooh. I've been denied what was rightfully mine, and it's taken me years to finally wrench it back. What are you talking about? I know you suffered under him, so I understand your pain. Once this trial is over, we can finally heal. I've already taken care of Steelwind. I simply need that boy to have an unfortunate accident. Oh! You still have that dog, don't you? And you're on good terms with Tyrion, too. It should be easy for you to facilitate another unfortunate accident. What? I can tell that from the sound of your voice that you don't have the stomach for such things. Damn! No matter, I can take care of that. I suggest you keep quiet about this, or you might end up meeting the same fate as Holy shit! Lifey trembled, her hand going to her mouth, in realization of what her sister was saying. She said nothing in response. She just ran for the dungeons. Mask off. Must you flaunt that ability so recklessly? You're making me envious. 9 hells, Harris, what do you want? Why wouldn't I want to see my favorite little mole rat? Order! Well, we failed at getting in an unfortunate accident. Court is now resumed with the trial of Beatrice Frega. Let's review yesterday's proceedings. There's much debate over William Frega's inheritance. More specifically, it was unknown what the defendant had any claim to her father's inheritance. This detail was crucial in determining whether the defendant even had a motive to commit the murder. Luckily, the victim's will was supposedly read earlier today and is now part of the public record. What were the results of the will reading, Mr. Cuthbert? William Frega was planning to leave all of his assets to Jaden von Sanctus, his hopeful son-in-law. However, this was predicated on the condition that Jaden marry the victim's daughter, Lifey. It was clear to anyone that present that Miss Lifey would never follow through on this engagement. This engagement is not made in 6 months. William Frega's assets would be divided amongst his 3 daughters. I see. But there was no mention of the defendant's disinheritance. Correct, Your Honor. This means that the defendant did have something to gain from the victim's death. Eris mentioned her ability. So what ability does that constitute? The defendant did have something to gain from the victim's death. Your Honor, despite the confusion around the victim's inheritance, there is still very little physical evidence that implicates my client. May I remind you that Miriam Frega was not telling the truth in yesterday's proceedings. That itself is extremely suspect. And William Frega was clearly not above manipulation and lying. You can't prove that she knowingly gave false testimony. I'll admit that I can't prove that. I'll also admit that there's a lack of apparent physical evidence to substantiate our case. Which is why the prosecution would like to call Harold Harolds into the stand. And Lord Haraldson! Sword of spell eating clearly plays a large role in this murder, and its theft is one of the few pieces of physical evidence in this case. As the gallery's curator, I believe he can further elaborate on how the sword was stolen that night. More specifically, I could find more about what he did on the night of the murder. I see. Bailiff, please escort Lord Harolds into the stand. He's the first witness. This is not going to be this easy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Of course, my name is Harold Haraldson. I am the owner and curator of Haraldson Hall of History, located in Homhearth. That's quite the alliterative occupation. Harold, could you just please testify to the court about how you discovered that the Sword of Spell Eating was stolen? If it will help. Are we gonna get the Lord theme? Yep. I was keeping an eye on my gallery's exhibits when I realized that my familiar hadn't returned. I called to him telepathically, but he didn't respond. I became worried. I went back to the manor to search for him. About an hour later, I returned to the gallery and discovered that the exhibit holding the Sword of Spell Eating was completely destroyed. The artifact was missing, so I reported the crime to the knights in the ball, and they activated a discreet lockdown. I wonder if Beatrice's ability is like to hijack a familial bond. This is just a complete crapshoot, but I wonder if Beatrice's ability is to hijack a familial bond. Just throwing that out there. Luckily, we found the sword and my familiar later that night. This is an interesting foible that we didn't hear about when we talked to him. So you went to search for your monkey, and that's why you didn't witness the theft. Yes, the thief was probably waiting for me to leave. He must have wanted to commit the crime without anyone seeing them. Or his testimony is completely full of it. His search for Eugene must have been a cover that he's using to hide his actions that night. So how do you prove that? Hold it. Are you referring to Eugene? Eugene? Eugene Haroldson, Your Honor. The name of the witness is familiar. Yes, Eugene is a spry orangutan monkey. He helps me with my day-to-day. I see. Anyways, you said that he hadn't returned. Does that mean he left you early in the night? Yes. He always likes to explore large buildings like Frega Manor, but he usually doesn't leave for that long. What? Does he typically ignore you like that? Sometimes. He's a young boy, so he likes to have his privacy. I try not to pry, but I was worried about what would happen if his noble or a knight came across him. He usually knows not to bother people, but you never know what might happen. You left the gallery room. Yes, as I said, I was worried that something had happened to Eugene. Where'd you go during your search? Eugene usually knows how to stay out of people's bedrooms, so I went downstairs and searched for him there. Checked the bathroom, sitting room, and coat room, and I finally checked the kitchen and pantry. I might have gone there to steal some snacks. But you didn't find him in any of those places. No, I didn't. Hour later... If I recall correctly, the glass was completely shattered. This is despite the presence of several abjuration spells that protected it. Yes, it would have taken an extremely powerful spell to break it like that. As you saw, the glass display was shattered into pieces. Harold told me that the thief shattered the glass while the protective wards were active. If he was involved, could he have just been lying? What sort of spell eating magic wielder immune to magical effects? What use would the lockdown have been? Honestly, not much. The wielder would have been immune to anti-magic fields and the spells that prevented the people from leaving. At that point, the King's Guard just wanted to activate it for good measure. Stupid just now was missing some details. I need to ask for something I could use against him. How'd you find Eugene? How'd you eventually find Eugene that night? After an hour of silence, he finally responded to my telepathic messages. He met up with me in the gallery before he went to search for the sword. This would have been after the theft was reported. Yes. He would have had to pick up Eugene after he murdered the Duke. This would be the alibi that they were using to account for the time that no one could see Eugene. Anyways, this detail could be extremely important. Please add it to your testimony. Well, Lord Harold said, oh, yes, of course, Harold. Where'd you find the sword? Where'd you eventually find the sword of spell eating? King's Guard and I slowly and carefully checked each room in the manor. About an hour, we finally found the artifact under the bed in the defendant's room. See where the tracker hides the sticks that he finds. When I thought about it, he probably stole Celeste's sword too. Anyway, this detail could be and it? Harold. Yes, of course, Harold. He says that he went around the manor to look for Eugene. You think that he's telling the truth? Maybe, but his so-called search for Eugene gave him a good excuse to be unaccounted for. He's an alibi, but it's not without its flaws. Just need to poke some holes in it. What do we make of this? They're also dropping the blood contract with a mage and demon. There's a lot that we don't know right now. We're gonna try something. The lockdown was still intact. The lockdown was still intact.
Objection!
It just hit me. It's the power of sitting and reading your evidence. Just clicked with me. That's a good mystery there. Harold, you found Eugene before you went to search for the Sword of Spell Eating. I mean that this all happened while the lockdown was still active, am I correct? Yes, as much as I was worried about the artifact, Eugene's safety was far more important. What's the thing, Harold? Is it that after an hour of silence you finally received a telepathic message back from Eugene? This is also probably more effective because I literally just finished the bit where we went through the same deduction with Tracker and Leifei. What? So that leaves one question. How did you communicate with Eugene telepathically, if you were both within an anti-magic field? What? Harold, in response to the theft, the Kingsguard activated the lockdown system to prevent anyone from leaving. That same lockdown system would have placed an anti-magic field over every inch of that manor. The field should have suppressed the telepathic abilities given to you by familial bond. You wouldn't have been able to speak with Eugene at all. Please, Cuthbert is blowing this entire thing out of proportion. Anti-magic field is a resource-intensive spell. You can't assume that they meant to cover every inch of the manor, especially the areas that would only be accessible to a small animal. As to more, let's assume that Eugene managed to reach some sort of blind spot in the lockdown system. Natural telepathy granted by familial bond connects two people. Even if Eugene wasn't affected by the anti-magic field, Harold would be. That's very true. So how did I hear him that night? He doesn't know. There's only one answer that makes sense, Harold. Beatrice's ability is going to involve hijacking the familial bond somehow. Or it's just the ultimate dark magic spell that Arya was looking into. But it just works on animals, so she can't quite use it on people. So the one answer that makes sense, Harold. You did hear Eugene telepathically. Because Eugene was wielding the sword of spell eating. What? I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert. What are you saying that the sword of spell eating was stolen by the witness's pet monkey? I am, Your Honor. It's the only way the witness's testimony makes sense. Oh, she still has some degree of trust for us, despite whatever shit she's in now. You wouldn't say something so ridiculous if it weren't true. She didn't have a rebuttal. I could push this while I still had the room. Harold Haraldson, you were the one who stole the sword of spell eating, weren't you? My rebuttal to that, though, is that he could have just kept the sword on him and not given it to his fucking monkey to wield. Unless my counter rebuttal is that he needed it to get through the wards on William Frega's study. Fuck. Oh, man. There's a lot to think about here. And what reason would I have to steal something that already belonged to me? It was to take suspicion off of you, because you were the one who had William Frega killed. You staged a robbery and used the sword of spell eating to make Eugene invisible. And you sent him to Eugene invisible. How did you make Eugene invisible? Do we have your arcane art here? Transmutation. Maybe you did turn Eugene into a rat. And Eugene was capable of... The familial bond means that Eugene could use transmutation magic through Harold. You sent him to the manor's ventilation system. Also, you could have him murder William Frega in his study. Well done, Cuthbert. I suppose you just can't stop yourself from pursuing a lying witness. That's what I do best, Mr. Mora. Of course. Witness, do you have anything to say in your defense? It's quite obvious, but I completely refute the prosecution's allegations. I was expecting his thoughts to be hostile, like before. And you also refute your statement about Eugene telepathically speaking with you. I know better than to lie on the stand to try and save myself. I can't explain how it happened, but I stand behind my testimony. Eugene did telepathically contact me during the lockdown. Wait, so he didn't know how that telepathic communication happened? Maybe he wasn't thinking about it when he planned the murder with Beatrice. Is this the part of the arc where Tyrion realizes some places where he jumped the gun? Like, he's very much jumping the gun here. That's your position, Cuthbert. The witness sent a monkey to murder William Frega. It may sound ridiculous, but it's the only thing that makes sense. Or do you have any evidence to refute that, Mr. Mora? No, I fully and wholeheartedly agree with you, Cuthbert. Wait. Tyrion. Cuthbert, did you forget that you were prosecuting Beatrice Frega? Your Honor, even as a prosecutor, it's clear that Cuthbert just can't stop himself from finding the true culprit. Wait, I also meant to say that the defense conspired with the witness to commit the crime. Oh, really? And do you have any proof of this conspiracy to commit? Oh, Of course you don't. But even so, let's assume that you did have evidence to prove your statement. And this was really a plot formed by my client and my witness. Or would my client even contribute to this plan? What you said, this plot was completely carried out by Lord Haraldson is familiar. Oh, well. Tyrion, you've off your game, son. The glass. He would have needed powerful mage like that defendant to break the sword's display case and stage the robbery. So her contribution to murder was breaking some glass. Can you prove that my client shattered the display case? Can you prove that she did so knowing that it would somehow lead to her father's death? You might have been a little too eager to prove Harold's guilt. Yeah! You need to adapt. Physical evidence against my client was almost non-existent in the first place. Meanwhile, it seems the prosecution has just brought forward physical evidence that implicates Lord Haraldson. Physical evidence that is supported by his own testimony. Cuthbert, didn't you ask me something yesterday? If my client didn't kill the victim, then who did? I suppose I should thank you for finding the answer. Damn it. What I did was make it more difficult to prove my case. But Harold had to be involved in this. I wasn't wrong about that. Only Eugene would be small enough to traverse the air vent. Was there anything else I could use? The threat of indictment, Harold must have been stressed. I've gotten me out of tight spots before. Maybe I could find the evidence in his mind. He seems absurdly clear-headed here. You use every trick you have, Cuthbert. It won't help you.
Naught can remain concealed.
I calmed my mind and focused the Eye of Horus on him. I need to find something. Anything that might tie the murder to Beatrice. Truly a shame that Beatrice was driven to flee from her own family. Only I'd introduced myself to her. Perhaps we could have found a solution together. Doesn't know Beatrice? But how? She planned this murder with him. Unless... The armbands of intellect are still missing, but I inspected it closely before the Lord's Ball. He was still there when I moved them to Frega Manor. Someone must have stolen his dirt at the ball. Right, I never did find what happened to the armbands. Did they seriously put a second thief that night? What? Alright. Hold the fucking phone. Hold the fucking phone. What was Beatrice's Zen gesture she does every time she's stressed? Quote unquote stressed. Claps her hands together. And Jane, just what were you doing that night? Did you really wield the sword, if only for a brief moment? Wait, he should have known exactly where Eugene was that night. Why would his thoughts say that? At least the earrings of Vitality were left untouched. It's one of the few Luminite artifacts I've been able to find. I believe that one of my artifacts was used to commit a murder. Be disrespectful to the culture and history behind it. What? He was talking as if he didn't have any hand in this. That can't be true, can it? What? What's going on? He's speaking as if he had no idea what was going on. Guard yourself from the Eye of Horus, but you couldn't lie to it. If that was true, was I wrong about Harold's involvement? Is he really innocent? Stop and listen to the thoughts you were hearing, Tyrion. Eugene is involved, but the Harold isn't. See anything, Cuthbert? Your Honor, it's clear that the prosecution has nothing left to argue. There's very little evidence implicating my client, and there's a far more likely suspect in front of us right now. Yes, I must agree, Mr. Mora. At the very least, I see no reason to prolong this trial any longer. Oh, wait! Beatrice couldn't have personally done this. Discounting the fact that she's completely blind, she was with the two princes for most of the night. Who actually killed William Frega in his study? Think about this. The reason why I suspected Harold in the first place was because of what Tracker said. Tracker's vocabulary is primitive and limited. He uses the word rat to describe small creatures that hide and act suspiciously. Even if it wasn't an actual rat, it still could have been a human, right? You're right. It would have been a small animal. A small animal with the strength and dexterity to traverse a small air vent while holding a sword. Tracker definitely saw some kind of animal. Is it someone else's familiar?
What if...
It had been you. Yeah, it had been Eugene. Doesn't it also explain why this... Tracker said that Eugene came out of the air vent. One side of the hallway, that he fled to the air vent on the other side. For a small monkey, those vents would be extremely cramped. Where's Eugene in the air vent? Now that Harold did participate in the murder, did he know what Eugene was doing that night?
Maybe.
Eugene was not acting... No? Couldn't say for sure why Eugene was there. It's likely that Harold even knew about it.
What if...
Eugene was acting of their own free will? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Eugene was acting of his own free will. That's the explanation that makes the most sense. But how and why? Harold is the only person who is magically connected to Eugene. If Beatrice somehow got Eugene to follow her orders, she wouldn't have been able to direct his actions telepathically. Beatrice couldn't use any other conjuration spell to contact him either. She was also in the anti-magic field when she was with Aster. So if Eugene was the only one who murdered William Frega, was he acting independently? Now that couldn't be possible. This plan required knowledge of Frega Manor's ventilation systems. It also involved murdering William during the lockdown and destroying his will. Eugene might be smart for a monkey, but an old monkey wouldn't have known how to identify and destroy William's will, even if Beatrice had somehow trained him to do all this beforehand. No, it couldn't be. Can we see them on him? After the sword of spell eating was reported missing, I checked the other exhibits and discovered the armbands of intellect had been stolen as well. Unlike the sword of spell eating, we still haven't found the armbands. That's the glass case where the armbands used to be. They'd been removed, but the glass case was completely intact. The thief didn't shatter the glass. Moreover, the armbands were actually replaced with a very well-made replica. Were they normally disabled? Return on not using a spoken password. How do people know it? Only myself. I personally oversee the transport of these items when they're moved. Only Harold knew the password, but someone could have overheard him saying it. Someone that's constantly hanging off of his shoulder. If I didn't play this right, this ridiculous accusation could end my legal career. Be smart about this. Your Honor, I think there's one more witness that can clear up this discrepancy once and for all. Oh, we're gonna make him talk, aren't we? We are gonna make him talk, aren't we? Oh, fuck yeah. See you next time.